This is the 2024 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X AEV edition, and this truck is worth almost $100,000. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner, Buick GMC here in South Jordan, Utah. Unfortunately, this truck is sold, but man, oh man, does it look good. Let's go and take a look at the window sticker so you guys can see some of the options, and I'll show you guys around the truck. At the very top are all the specs for this 1500 AT4X. And then the powertrain, and then here's all the standard equipment that you're going to see. Be sure to pause it to see more. And here's the base price, $79,200, and here are all the options with this setup. So the AT4X AEV edition is $68.95, and here's everything that's going to come in that package. A few other things listed there, and at the top, destination comes in at $19.95 with a total vehicle price of $91,450, and here's the Philly county numbers for the AT4X AEV edition with the diesel. Now be sure to stay until the end so you guys can see the payload on this truck. This is probably the lowest payload I've ever seen on any Sierra 1500. Now if you want this bumper, you do not have to get the AEV package. It does come standard on the AT4X now, and it's still through AEV. And this is going to have the parking sensors, you have the fog lights down below. You can also get a winch installed on this front bumper. And the one thing I like about it is it does give you a better approach angle, better ground clearance, and it gives you the steel skid plate down below here. I also like the recovery hooks. They're finished in steel too. And pretty much the grille is changed from the other AT4, so it has like a bronze color versus the Vader Chrome. You're also going to have a forward-facing camera right here, full LED lighting, and they did revise this front end for 2022, and it looks great on the AEV package. And I like how they restyled this trim piece too to go well with the AEV bumper. Off to the side, you do get a new wheel design if you get the AEV. It's called Salta, and they do give it a lip right here to protect the valve. These are going to be aluminum. And independent front suspension. And with the AT4X, you do have the Multimatic DSSV. Let me go ahead and turn the wheel so you guys can see it really quickly. There it is. That looks really good. Multimatic dynamic suspension spool valve. They do restyle the control arms on this build for the extra ride height. So this is gonna have a 2-inch lift. And they have a coilover setup with the coils and the shocks too. These 18 by 8.5 wheels are wrapped in a Goodyear Wrangler Territory MT tire, 275/70/18. So this is basically a 33-inch tire, and 2680 is the capacity is in pounds, 50 psi. They do kind of restyle your fender flares with the AEV, black trimming around the mirrors and windows, and then here's the badging on the side, and then down below. Black door handles with this truck when you get the AEV Bison package too. Looks really good in the sterling silver. And as far as your fuel tank capacity, 24 gallon. Out back, your suspension's a little different from the regular Sierras. They give you 5 leafs versus the 3 leafs for like the AT4. And they're very similar to the HDs here. They're just a little bit thinner, more multimatic, and they give you this fabric material which is easy to wash out with a power washer. Now when you get the AEV edition, you do get this rear bumper, and I do like it. Gives you a little bit more ground clearance, very aggressive. They have that AEV badge on the side. They also give you the addition of these recovery hooks, class 4 receiving hitch, parking sensors. I just noticed this just now too. You can add light pods in the rear bumper. I would definitely add that. I'm not sure of the size, so you'd have to measure it. But you do have your camera inputs for your trailer and 7-pin. And they do black out this part of the tailgate for you when you get the AEV edition. Backup camera and then light for your conventional hitch. Now, I'm shocked. There's no kicker sound system. I thought that was standard with the AT4X. They do stamp it there. You have 2 cameras up top, 400 watts of power, bed lighting. And they do provide a handle when you break this into a step. Pretty easy to get back up. It's kind of heavy, but I can do it with one hand. And here's the other side. Smart key system only on the front doors. Let's go ahead and talk about this 3-liter Duramax. While everybody's trying to get away from diesels, GM is embracing them. They added the diesel for 2024, and this engine got a bump in power back in 2023. They retuned the turbo, they added new pistons, it has a revised combustion bowl, and it has new fuel injectors. So I'm thinking they made it more reliable, they made it more efficient, and that gave it a horsepower bump of 28 and a torque bump of 35. So it's gonna have 305 horsepower, 495 pound-feet of torque. All of this goes through a 10-speed transmission, 323 rear end, and I think that even though the sticker says it gets like what, 20 on the highway, I bet you can get about 23 to 24 with this setup. But this truck's heavy, so be sure to stick to the end so you guys can see the payload of this truck and how heavy it is. Here's why you have to spend over 90 grand for this truck. This interior. This is the Obsidian Rush. These are the YU burgers of leather seats. These are real leather. They have red, white stitching, white piping, 16-way massagers, shoulder support, bolstering is adjustable for the trails, and this one has a power steering column. You can't even get that on the HDs. Seat memories are right here. Here's some of your mirror controls. They add this badge, which makes it look really nice. Black wood trim piece, nice graphics on the door, nice stitching right here in red. It's really done well. They add a suede roof to this truck, including the A and B pillars. They also wrap your grab handles in leather, and that's for the front and rear. And stepping in, this truck is definitely taller, so I really have to kind of jump up in here. And these seats are very comfortable. Now when you close the door, let's see how it sounds. It doesn't sound too bad. Here's that trim piece on the side there. You might be able to see it better right there. It's also on the steering wheel. And here's some of your buttons. 12.3-inch display, 13.4, push button starts right there. And here's the layout of all your buttons. Dual climate control, you have your heated and ventilated seats right there. They also add your heated steering wheel button here. Paddle shifters. This screen is fully customizable. I've done a few videos in the past. You want to go back and watch. I'm not going to take too much time with that. You also have heads-up display. And I like how they have the vents high up too. And on the dash, it's leather with that white piping and stitching. And here is your gear selector. Trailer brakes right behind it. Cup holders, a little bit of storage, 2 USBs, Type C and Type A, more storage, wireless charger, 2 more USBs, 120 volt power plug. This tray comes out to give you deeper storage. It is illuminated inside this area. And let's go ahead and go through the drive mode. So you have tow haul right there is a button, and then you can swipe this. So you have normal, sport, off-road, and terrain. Now, one thing I will say, if you do get the 6.2, which is the optional engine for 2024, they do give you a dual stage exhaust, so you can make the exhaust louder on this truck, which is really cool. This screen here is very customizable. There's a lot of different things that you can see in here. I'm not gonna go through everything, but you can take things out of this little docking station here, and you can put things back. You can move things around inside of this area too. You have a second page. This is very helpful too for the trail. So you have a 360 camera. You can also see the position of the front and rear tires. And if you don't want the bird's eye view on, you can disable that to get a wider screen here. And I like the fact that GM gives you the entire screen. Now, it's not the entire screen, but it's most of it, right? It's most of it. And it doesn't stop there. If you do have stuff inside the bed, you can check that out while you're driving. Make sure everything's secure. You can zoom in as well. And yeah, this is a really nice setup. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have a trailering app right there. You set up your trailer, you can name it, all that good stuff. And I like the split screen too that you get on this side. Nice information at the very top. So you have lane keep assist. You have a button to disable your park parking sensors, front and rear. Automatic start stop, which is surprising on this truck. You can drop the tailgate from inside the truck. Caution light, traction control, downhill assist. You can lock the rear axle or the front and rear axle together. And I wanted to show you one last thing. When you get the diesel and you push the tow haul mode button, it does turn on the exhaust brake too. So yes, this truck does have an exhaust brake, which is really nice. On the passenger side, 16-way seat, as I said. And then check out the overall design of this truck. I mean, this is done really nice. Soft touch inside this area. And down below, you have a nice glove box. You cannot use this for a bed camper. Out back, they do provide storage here on both sides. Armrest, power sliding window. I do hope that at some point GM does add a panoramic sunroof. That would be one nice feature to add. Cup holders at the very top, outboard heated seats, more USBs, seat back pockets right here, and they do add this speaker to the rear. And this is all wrapped in leather, so it's a little bit nicer interior overall. Here are the numbers on the door. I want to point out that the GVWR and the GAWR in the front were increased because of the diesel, but the rear gross axle weight rating was 3,800 pounds, which stayed the same. Here's the payload at 983, and it shows that you can tow up to 8,500 pounds conventionally and 5,200 pounds for a gooseneck, which, okay, whatever. I doubt that, but yeah, 983 pounds is that payload. That is the lowest I've ever seen. 38 psi for the tires is recommended. Now, the reason why this payload is so low, there are running boards that you did not see in the video, or the tonneau cover. So those things are going to take away from your payload, and they're not done installing them. I wanted to grab this truck really quickly to do a review, but yeah, it's still a really nice pickup, but I would not buy this to tow a trailer. And I like the fact that it has the diesel for 2024 because you can get some pretty good fuel economy out of this engine on the highway. But I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner here in South Jordan, Utah. If you would like to purchase from them, be sure to reach out to their sales team. I deal with Frank for the most part when I do come here. So yeah, he's the guy I would reach out to. See you guys soon.